So 8K televisions have been grabbing a lot of attention at the big tech expos and telly shows so far in 2020, or at least the ones that haven't been shit-canned by that bloody virus thing. But what actually is the point of 8K? What can you actually watch in 8K resolution right now? What are the best 8K TVs? And should you ever consider selling off some of your least vital fleshy bits in order to afford one? Well, here's my complete guide to 8K television right now in 2020. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first, what is the advantage of 8K versus 4K? Well, in a nutshell, 8K televisions boast 4 times the number of pixels compared with their 4K counterparts, as this highly complex and visually stunning diagram will illustrate. You see, a 4K TV has a screen resolution of 3840 by 2160, giving you 8.3 million pixels in total. Meanwhile, an 8K TV boosts that resolution to 7680 by 4320, resulting in 33 million pixels being crammed into a similar space. Of course, this doesn't mean that everything you watch on an 8K TV will automatically look crisper and more finely detailed than it would on a 4K television. For that, you'll either need compatible content or an extra clever bit of tech. So what can I actually watch in 8K? Well, this is just yet another area where Japan is already well ahead of the rest of us. Japan's NHK Broadcasting Company actually set up the world's first 8K dedicated channel back in 2018, and it beams out a surprising amount of daily content to any users lucky enough to afford an 8K TV of their own. At the moment though, there is next to zero native 8K shows or even video clips available on the internet and here in the UK in general. Services like Netflix, Prime Video and YouTube top off at 4K resolution, and even then you don't exactly have a massive wealth of Ultra HD content to peruse. Sky now offers a decent range of shows and movies in 4K, as well as of course all of the biggest sporting events as well, but the Beeb, for instance, is still very much experimenting in the realms of Ultra HD at a very slow and steady pace, so I would not expect any dedicated 8K channels here in the UK anytime soon. That said, it is actually perfectly possible to create your own 8K video right now if you're flush enough to afford Samsung's latest Galaxy S20 flagship phone, the very first handset to offer this mega resolution for your home movies. Sadly, however, there are no dedicated DSLRs or other video recording cameras that can shoot in that 8K resolution available right now. You'll have to wait probably until the arse end of 2020 for the likes of Sharp to get their acting gear and release those products. So if there's bugger all 8K content out there right now, what is even the point? Well, these 8K TVs don't simply bump up the number of pixels and then leave it at that. The really clever part is the upscaling tech, which takes your 4K video or even your HD video and then really boosts the clarity, the overall picture quality as well, so it looks like it's in 8K resolution. A great example of upscaling tech comes courtesy of this wee blighter here. It may look a bit like a funky bedroom accessory or maybe a goth version of a tube of Smarties, but it's actually one of the cleverest telly streamers out there right now, the Nvidia Shield TV. This cylindrical superstar can take your 1080p or even 720p video and upscale it to 4K resolution in real time as you're actually watching. And it does this with some very impressive AI smarts, basically using a neural network that's trained offline to dynamically add in extra information to each individual frame, therefore improving the overall picture clarity. I mean, you don't need to worry about all the complex techie details though, all you need to know is that it works and really bloody well. And upscaling has actually become rather prevalent of late as our displays have evolved beyond the content they're actually watching on them. Even some of the more premium smartphones like the Sony Xperia 1 and Oppo's fresh new Find X2 Pro can boost your low resolution shows and movies so they look sharp enough to puncture your peepers. And they also upgrade SDR video to near HDR levels, improving the contrast and color output. You can expect your spangly new 8K TV therefore to really boost up your 4K and your HD visuals to give it a much deeper, finer depth of detail. So it's not going to be a complete waste of money by any means, even if you buy one right now. Of course, if you do watch an Ultra HD program on a 4K TV and an 8K TV side by side, there is a difference in the clarity and detail, but it's not a massive difference by any means. So is it actually going to be worth your cash? Right then, so what 8K TVs are actually available now and how many kidneys do I have to sell? Well, as you might imagine, 8K tellies aren't exactly in high demand right now here in Blighty, so your options are pretty slim and also your pants expensive. The sanest option perhaps in early 2020 is Samsung's Q800T. This 8K beast of a telly costs just $4,000 for the smallest 65-inch model, and of course this boasts mightily impressive visuals in a pleasingly slender form factor. Of course, like most massive, highly technically complex TVs, it's about as energy efficient as a nuclear powered doorstop, but that's just something you're going to have to really accept. Oh, and in case you're interested, it's also available in 75 or 82-inch flavors as well, if your living room is the same size as the average McDonald's. Alternatively, there's always LG's signature Z9 8K Gogglebox, which sports OLED tech instead of QLED and therefore full Dolby Vision support, as well as a sphincter-destroying price tag of £30,000. So basically, if you harvest all of Grand's organs and then sell off her house and all of her worldly possessions, you too could be enjoying a nice spot of 8K telly come the weekend. Huzzah! And last up, there's Sony's Master ZG9, which in comparison starts at a fairly chilled £14,000. Although if you do want to upgrade from the 85-inch model to the 98-incher, that'll cost you 85 grand. Excuse me, I just need to go change my pants rather urgently. And of course, if you actually want to watch any native 8K content, you will need HDMI 2.1 cables to cope with that added bandwidth. We're talking an incredible amount of data here. And if you plan on streaming 8K content from the internet, you will of course need a pretty tasty online connection as well. So that's all great and everything, but should I actually buy an 8K TV right now? Well, if you're absolutely minted, then sure, why not? But if you don't have fat stacks clogging up all of your cupboards, then maybe just consider getting a really, really nice 4K HDR TV instead. The likes of LG, Sony, Samsung, they all offer gorgeous, gorgeous televisions, perfect clarity, beautiful contrast and really nice colour reproduction for a couple of grand. Personally, I definitely don't think there's enough of a bump in the picture quality, even with that upscaling tech on an 8K TV, to really justify that extra cost. But that's just my own personal thoughts. What are your thoughts? Be great to hear them down in the comments below. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. I'm off to have some fun with this.